everybody familiar with crypto YouTube already knows my X-rated charts are the sexiest in crypto. I'm gonna tell you, this ugly chart right here is by far the sexiest in crypto. Daily, weekly, quarterly, monthly, 4-hour and 1-hour candles, all red, to essentially destroy, or very close to destroying after this daily closure. The daily trend is going to be no trend. But before I tell you what we're going to cover in this video, this will be one of them. Can we take a second to just appreciate this real quick? I mean, where else can you hear somebody say something like this? Just yesterday or whenever I posted this video right behind me. A lot more, right? Hell yeah, here's another one. Look at that. And did that work? Hell yeah, that was the best trade of the week. So even though the trend is up for a while, the absolute best trade was down. It was fast and it only lasted an hour, and profit would have been very, very, very fast. So it's odd that the trend is up, but the absolute best trade, actually best two trades of the last 2 weeks, has been a downside trade. Isn't that weird? All right. That's why I'm not hesitant to try to do a counter, to try to catch a lower high here. But it's gonna be hard, and I'm not gonna tell you exactly how I'm planning on doing it, but I have figured it out. If it ends up being a lower high, I know exactly how to enter it. And guess what? It made a higher high and then screamed down, so I didn't catch it. However, the whole video, the entire thesis was, it's more probable that this red line is broken to the upside because the daily confirmed and held onto its uptrend as it was approaching the one line it needed to get over, and then it made a fake out and went straight down. I didn't catch it, and I had been waiting for 2 or 3 days, but where else can you get that information to identify, although it's more probable to go up, you really need to watch out for this to break down, because there are hints in the chart outside of statistics and probabilities. It's just intent. There are no statistics for intent. I just see it. And so the intent of the chart over the last 2 weeks was, it's an uptrend with a possible lower high, and within this area, right from here to here, and that little flash crash that only lasted 55 minutes, 1-hour candle, 3% in 1 hour, something like that. They were the 2 best trades of the last 2 weeks in an uptrend. So it smelled fishy. And guess what? It even got fishier. So where we're going to start in this video is this. We're going to identify this trade is like dog food. It's not for human consumption. The algos and big quant firms or countries trading desks, they traded this. It's not for people. And we're going to identify why that is. And then we're going to also say, maybe a trend is starting to brew that maybe people aren't supposed to be trading quite yet. And the daily breakdown from the daily line, today's candle, Monday, May 1st, it was also dog food. And then this potential higher low within the 1 hour, not the daily higher low, the little higher low that might be forming here on the 6-month proven point of control, it went from lower low to breaking 4 little micro 1 minute higher local highs. It's all dog food right now. Honestly, trading right now is probably a bad idea unless you're trying to trade short based off of the sexiest, ugliest chart of the whole world that's ever existed. It's amazing. We got so much to cover today. Buckle up, because this is going to be insane. Let's go get some Bitcoin, but let's wait until it's appropriate for human consumption. Are you ready? Wait, one more time. I hit the wrong button. But it's funny. I messed up. All right, here we go. Can we appreciate this real quick? Okay, but this is where it's at. Stare in the glory of this. This line over here should not be green. Timothy, why is this green? There should be no green in this sucker. Let's make this red. Everything's red. It's a red party. Come on, get off of me. Let's do this. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Just look at how, when have you seen this happen before? Well, if you don't follow my channel, probably never, because you don't track these openings and you don't know any better. But we covered this yesterday. Really get in the habit of this. And if this is all going to be a bear trap, okay, this is why you need this. Now, you don't have to monitor every 1 hour, okay? Maybe 4 hour and above. Hell, just maybe the daily and everything, but the 4 hour is probably pretty important. So what's going to begin happening is, if this is a bear trap, the 1 hour and sometimes the 4 hour is exactly at it. Like, you know, every 4 hour candle, it's also the 1 hour open, right? But you're going to start seeing them telescope this way. So then the 4 hour would flip green, and you're going to be able to see just with lines, literally moving up lines like Mario Brothers from the NES, right? From the 1986, I think was when it came out, at least in the Americas, from Japan. You will begin seeing it telescope up. Oops, I have the 1 hour down here. And then everything besides the daily and weekly will be green. Even the 5-minute candles will be green. And then you're going to have essentially the clash of titans. So let's do this. Let me take a snapshot of this over here. And let's expand this sucker so you can see what I'm talking about. Oh, freaking beautiful. Okay, that was not planned, but that worked out beautifully. Okay, so these are the time frames. So if this is going to be it turn into a potential bear trap, you're going to have from here to here, so including the 4 hour. If it touches it, it includes it. This will all be green. Somewhere around here will be red. And over here will be green. I think the 2 week is green. 2 weeks an odd one. And it's going to have you're going to have a vice. This is not very common. And so if that ends up happening, I would say my best guess, if you start seeing the 4 hour, 1 hour, and then the monthly and the quarterly turn, because I mean, the monthly and quarterly are going to turn green before everything, right? Essentially. And you're going to see some telescoping up, but you're going to essentially get into a range. And Bitcoin might freaking range there the whole month because of this. And I know you haven't seen something like this anywhere else visualized so simply and plain. And that's why, if you're new, I mean, you need to hit subscribe and make sure you hit the bell, because time-sensitive information needs to be delivered in a time-sensitive fashion. Returning viewers, since I'm blabbing already about it, just hit the like button, help out the algo. Leave a quick comment, even if it's a period with no tampon. Yes, we're bringing that back. It's funny that only men got offended for women about that, but the women are the ones who put no tampon the most. All right, just leave a quick comment. Help out the algo here so I can continue making content for you that you're not going to find anywhere else, visualized in this way. So this is going to be interesting. Now let's see if this is tradable. 2.8%. I mean, yeah, on high leverage. Probably not worth it on 5x or under. Definitely not worth it on spot. I wouldn't risk, on spot, that means you're 1x. So if price goes up 2%, and you have spot, on spot, just normal Bitcoin, however much, it would also be, 8%. Yeah, 2.8%. But on 10x, it'd be 28% trade if you caught it a bounce, a higher low from here, and then close the trade up there. That'd be a 28% trade. But right now, this is not happening. It's all red. It's all red. It's like this. Maybe the 5 minute. No, I don't even know if the 5 minutes green. Like, what's happening right now is this. Maybe besides the 2 week. I think the 2 week might still be green because it's a weird one. And then like maybe a dot of green. Actually, let's go to the 2 week. Yeah, it's green. Okay, yeah. It's the oddball. So let's go back to the 1 hour. Boom. And then you have this guy like that. So you have your sore thumb over here. Something is not like the other. But it's a sea of red, everybody. Now, remember what I said about dog food? All right, let me turn the lo-fi music back on. Remember what I said about dog food, right? Okay, so this is step one. Keep this in your mind. You don't have to directly connect it, the next part, to this part yet, but I need you to take what I just said, sea of red, potential fake out. If it starts telescoping, it's going to get stuck in a 3% range, perhaps the whole darn month. Take that like a magnet on the fridge, put it where it's kind of visible, but you're not thinking about it, and let's go to the next point, and then we're gonna go back to that magnet on the side of your refrigerator head, okay? All right. I mean, you can call my forehead a refrigerator. It's pretty damn big. Look at that thing. Jeez. But more space for brain, right? As long as it's working. Okay. Dog food. Go to my sexy chart, obviously. Now let's go in. Let's start hunting. What are we looking at? We are gonna go down to the 15-second chart, the crazy stuff. And Tim, why would we go down to the 15-second chart? Because you can see the intent. This was a breakout. See that? Now let's appreciate what that line is. From the very top, let's further appreciate this and this, where price is now. See the bottom of the box, that's current price. The very top, the very, very top of the entire move, the top of the box. What the hell is this box, Tim? But you just made that for the video. Hell no, I didn't. Go to my videos 2 months ago. It was here. This channel, it was all here months and months ago, right? Okay, but what is this? When was this? This was exactly last year, May and June, mid-May to mid-June. So 1 year ago. Wick, perfect rejection. We're at this line. What happened the last time we were above this line and went below and got rejected? Womp, 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 womp. And then it recovered. And then it went down to 15K, 15.5. Same line, year ago. May, same month. So there's no, but May is the most bullish month of all Bitcoin. No, or September, whatever people say is about September. No, it happened in May, same month. And just look, appreciate. So this is not dog food yet. Hey, this is people food. This is shortable for humans. Even if you don't run algos with a $50 million trading desk behind those algos that can scan the order book and know exactly when to hit market sell or market buy. We don't have that. Are we appreciating? Now let's go back. We're gonna piece this together. Like, you are going to be so comfortable with what is next on Bitcoin, even if you don't know what's next. You know when you're going to be able to tell what's happening. And right now it's all dog food. You can't know. There's no way. But the biggest hint is down. However, it's dog food. So if it's been dog food, then it might continue being dog food at least until the daily open. At least until Tuesday's open, which happens Monday night, New York time 8 p.m., California time 5 p.m., Berlin and Paris 2 a.m., London 1 a.m. All right, so it broke above this line. Good thing that, the people in my community have extremely beautiful daily updates. So I'm going to rock and roll with this. And at the end of the video, I'm going to show you, if you were to join the community, for example, I'm not going to do it during the middle. I'm not going to try to sell you crap in the middle. I'm trying to deliver you information. But at the end, I'll let you know, hey, this is what we've been doing. And, if that's your cup of tea, then rock and roll. Okay, so my update from yesterday, one of three, actually, let's just do this. So one of three, I let everybody know. Actually, let's make that big. Or a serious fake out before downside action begins Monday? Alert, it's a breakout, but I had my yellow triangle up there. So I knew that was a playground for whales to chop you up, right? And then let's go. So that was posted yesterday, right? You can see it, that was during the breakout. And you could have actually longed that and put your stop well in profit and be stopped out way in profit on at least 5x. Yeah, 5x or higher. Easily, right? Now, let's go. Well, let's get that ugly guy off there. Wouldn't that have been nice to have as an update? What are you doing? Timing. So I let them know that the breakdown is the third most likely. And here's where dog food begins. You see how I have the daily open down there? Yeah, so if you haven't hit like this, you need to hit like right now, and I'll turn that off here. Here, let's get rid of that crap. So see that daily open? Let me do my Harry Potter cloak. All right, see this last wick down here where my cursor's doing in circles? You didn't get that. That's how it almost always goes down. It actually bounced, made a higher local high, and then tanked from a local high. And the current little move up pumped up from a local low. It's all dog food, all dog food. So I prepared everybody, and I even let them know, it was the next update. So I let them know, hey, we have 5 to 6 hours till the next daily open. Traditional finance futures opens there. So you're getting ready to head into more money flow into Bitcoin, and something weird can happen, especially downside. Be prepared for each of these, all right? You don't have to guess. You just can wait until you have the edge, right? So there's that one. And then one more this is all yesterday as price kept doing, crazy stuff, dog food stuff. Let's try to zoom out a little bit. There we go. Okay, here we are. So then it started breaking down below the daily open. So I had to reanalyze everything. You can take a minute to read this. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see what was written over here. Aggressively walk stop zone. Oh, maybe this was the first update. No, it wasn't. It already broke out. So I let them know if it goes into this yellow triangle, that is where whales will chop you to death. But it actually didn't. It just went down. And I warned everybody, weird stuff will happen between these two lines. What happened? It was just pure chop. It went did nothing. So it was good. So I let everybody know, don't take on trades there. Maybe don't bail on trades that are in profit, but don't take on any trades. So I'm trying to let everybody know when are good times to trade, because I'm becoming, I've done something magic, and I think I understand the time restrictions of the Bitcoin algos that are controlling price. So it's really changing how I trade for the better. Okay, now what happened during that time? The weird zones. It was roughly, oh boy, where was it? Yeah, it was right here. It was right here. This was the weird stuff, I do believe, right in that area. It was, look how small of a range, 0.16. Can you see that? 0.16 range for like a whole hour and a half. So don't take on any trades, right? And then it stopped you out before going down. Okay, so I'm really trying to get everybody really precise so that if you are trying to either up your game or just learn this so that in the near future you can try to do better in the bull market, you got to practice now. And I'm trying to guide, and then this is the large perspective so that nobody forgets what is at stake. The daily trend is at stake. It's almost confirmed to be a no trend. Almost confirmed to be a no trend. I did repeat that on purpose. The reason it's almost is if today closes under the wick there's a certain wick exactly at 29K. If Bitcoin closes at 29K, including 29K or lower, the day is in a no trend period. It's over. Could it reform a daily uptrend? Yeah, but you would have to first get a higher low or first get a higher local high above 30K. And then after that, form another higher low, or you can form a higher low first and then form a higher high. But one higher high in Bitcoin is still a daily no trend. The trend is broken, you start all over. So if price goes above that bull trap over here, it has to go all the way above here. Look, Bitcoin, actually, let's refer to the daily. That might not be accurate. Hold on. Bitcoin has to close a candle up here, and it's still in a no trend. The daily trend is broken for a while. Even if it gets above there, doesn't matter. But that's only if today closes under that wick right there, about 29K. Actually, that wick, yeah, 29K. And then, but if today closes way up here, even if it's red, but it sneaks the closure above 29K, then that's not a high. So I'm thinking because we've seen so much dog food, which it's an uptrend, but the best 3 trades now in a daily uptrend that it's almost a no trend because it's still an uptrend. This closure has not happened. So it is in a daily uptrend right now. But I'm thinking, well, if the big bad days were making everything bullish and the best trades were bearish, Well, now that we're tricking bearish, maybe the trend is dog food because this is the week of FOMC. Maybe it's just the whole week is going to be fake out after fake out, and it might not be a good week to trade. So, is there any community on earth that, posts stuff that you can kind of tell ahead of time why am I so damn fuzzy? There we go. Is there any community out there that kind of lets you know the scope of the economic events? Maybe. There might, one might exist. One might exist. I mean, possibly. Maybe. We're trying. How do I make myself visit? Oh, Harry Potter. Huh. Crazy. Economic event heat map. So this whole week's going to be hot, 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 hot. And if there's a lot of money flowing into crypto from traditional finance and all that, it's their algos. It's not for people. Unless their algos are running regular stuff. So essentially it's a battle of tricking the dumb algos with less money. Let's bait them to go long. They're not actually trying to trick people. Like the percent of money in crypto that is people money is nothing. It's algos tricking algos from bank to bank and country to trading desk to country trading desk or crypto cartel to crypto cartel, which are probably countries, perhaps Russia and China and all that stuff. Their country's probably using Bitcoin to make money to pay off some debt. And whoever those are, they might know the leaders of the exchanges that have leverage to maybe get reads on the order book, potentially. I'm not making any accusations, but if you can reduce risk by paying off somebody and to be able to scan the order book when you're not supposed to, I would do that. It would be worth the cost. So you got to always, without accusations, it's just human incentive. You can't stop it in this unregulated market. Okay, so we knew it's going to be hot, but we didn't know it was going to be untradeable. So right now it is all dog food. So let's look at the continuation of potential dog food. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Broke that trend. You went into a no trend on this micro time frame. Lower low, blast from the lows, straight back down. Blasting from lows. That did not begin happening in crypto before about April of 2019. So traditional finance is in control. Retail doesn't do that. Human algos meant to look like human volume don't do that. That's not how you blast. You don't blast from lower lows. You don't do it. And also, you don't tank from the daily open line. Oops, where's the daily open? It was right here. I thought I had it marked, sorry. It was right here. Let me confirm. So if you're like, today is a good, so that's see that orange line, boom, daily. All right, now let's go back to the 15-second ridiculously small chart. But you can see intent on this chart. I'm telling you, you can see intent or get fooled by lack of intent. Look, went below it. So the daily opened right here, or right here. It flicked red to create the daily wick. So really, really aggressive green candles. This is what happens. So this was actually, no, the candle opened. No, I'm so sorry. The day opened exactly here. So the day opened, you created a wick, you come up to retest, deepen the wick, right? So usually the days, hot green days, they will create their wick before blasting up in about 1 to 3 hours. Then the rest of the days, up, 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 up. That's how big candles do. Unless it's the candle after a big green candle, then it's a bare bottom with none of this. Like it doesn't do this at all. But we were going on 3 red days in a row, right? A pullback, unaggressive 3 red days, honestly kind of bullish. It was a bullish pullback. And so this is the nature of a hot green candle. That's how it happens in the first 2 hours. You create a baby little wick, just a little thing hanging down. Okay? Well, that sounded, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. I didn't mean to go there. And then it gets back above, breaks local high, higher low, bring in a tiny bit of volume, and then boom, with no rejection. Remember I said, look at my cursor where I was doing a circle, dog food? That's not tradable by humans. That is not how you trade a breakdown. All dog food. So if you are somebody who wanted to trade on Monday because you knew the event map was going to be hot, I really suggest that you consider that first chart I said with this range. I mean, I wouldn't trade anything up until it's back above this. And if you are able to get something above there, I mean, you really need to consider profit. I mean, just around this line up here, because it's probably going to do this for a while because the trend is at stake. And honestly, the trend might be confirmed down and then it might blast up because it's all dog food. So right now, be careful is essentially what I'm saying. This is not for people. This is not a people playground. It's not. And so did you see those warnings from the daily updates? Like during this 2-hour period, it's going to be tricky. Weird stuff might happen. Don't enter trades. Or if it comes back up, this is where whales will chop you up. Like watch out for this, watch out for that. Consider these 3. Here's where you can confirm, right? And so I'm really in tune with this market right now. I'm not always super in tune, but right now I am. And I can tell you, even if you're super experienced, now's the time. No trade is probably the best trade unless you're attempting down. Down is the only way to go right now, but even with down, it still is. The trend might be dog food, so it might be better not to do anything. All right. However, definitely. So these I actually moved. So these right here are actually red. They're down here. All right. So let's relabel these so it's not confusing. So the 1 hour has 53 minutes left. Let's make that bad boy red. Boom. Go to the 4 hour. It's 1 hour and 4 hour. So the 4 hour oh no, 4 hour did not just start. They're oddly in the same place, even though it didn't just start. Boom. And quarterly and monthly are red. Boom. What is this? The daily? Thought I made that not green. Go back to the 1 hour. I always like to see this with bare naked price. Absolutely no indicators. Honestly, I should take this crap off too. And so this chart helps me understand, like, whatever I'm doing in my trading, right? Or in my analysis. Maybe you don't trade. Maybe you just want to know, hey, should I DC in Bitcoin? It's good to have this in a different tab open, like a different exchange Bitcoin, right? This one's Bitstamp. This one's the index. Okay, the sexy chart is the index. It's the best chart it's the best chart for Bitcoin. But you need that to be a special chart for yourself. But an ugly chart without much volume, the 1 hour works, and I can help see truth. Like it helps me identify, well, if I see bullish crosses on MACD or the stochastics, maybe a few of these need to be green, from me copy and pasting that thing up there with the dailies, right? Or with all the time frames, remember? The Vice? Okay. Now, let's go back to that Vice. If dog food happens, right? And then it tries to convince people to be bullish and goes back down, convinces people to be bearish, goes back up. You're looking at this as the value zone and this as the value zone, but watch out for dog food on both sides. Look out for price to get above it, higher low, one higher high, then straight down, and then go boom, lower low, straight up and back into the range. And so if all that were to happen, the value zones would be just outside of here, because dog food means you have to bait people to go the wrong way so that if you need to short for $1,000, there must be in that exact moment $1,000 of other people willing to go short. So that's why baits happen, because these whales, they need 80 million. So they need to get the big YouTubers and all the people with, trading groups that trade together or whatever. They need to get them to go the wrong way so they can, but multiple groups, so they can shoot their $80 million of the other direction before they sell on spot or buy on spot the other way, rip it up. This whole month might be tricky. And what happened last May in 2022? Let's go look what that looked like. Let's extend this line left. Remember that box? Well, this is kind of going to be like the box. Watch. But was it dog food? Was it easy to trade? I don't know. Let's go back a year and find out. Does that look easy to trade? Well, there's Bart Simpson. There's Bart Simpson. There's Bart. There's Bart. People don't trade Bart. You can't trade Bart. Because right where you think you're supposed to go short, it'll go boom, and then another higher high, and then straight down. And you can't really consider that as a lower high to short because you still have a higher low. You have a higher highs and higher lows essentially, above a value zone, but nope, straight down. So we might get this again over here. And it lasted, I believe, 34 days. So like this might be an incredibly tough month. But if it starts becoming people food, I'll let you know. But right now it's trash. Charts are trash. It is absolute trash. And that often happens when the big bad days and the political US political cronies or the cronies wherever, with the economic event, they kind of know what CPI will be a day before, so they know what their plan is for the stock market, so therefore they can start that move on crypto early in an unregulated, really thin liquidity exchange. They can move Bitcoin the way they want within 2 to 4%, at least within an hour, which we've already seen. This might be incredibly difficult. Did you see it in conjunction with those lines? Look. So not quite the same lines, but the same idea. And this what's creating my box from yonder on the other chart. 28 to 32 roughly. Okay, so my analysis today is sit back and wait this next daily open. Let it cool off maybe 30 minutes and then see if you get normal higher highs and higher lows on the 1 minute or 5 minute chart. You need to start low. If it's not producing regularity, it's still dog food. Why would it be still dog food? And this is where we'll wrap up, and then I'll show you. Actually, I already showed you what was going on in the community, so I guess I don't have to do that at the end. If it's still dog food, let's see here. Then you're going to see things such as lower low to volume up, or uptrend, higher high, and straight down with no lower low. Or with no lower high. That's the case of dog food. You don't want to eat packets of dog food. You want trend to get continuation. You don't want continuation after the trend change. You don't just want trend reversal after trend reversal, and that's where the volume picks up. That's not for people. Unless you're the person with $50 million selling into your longs, and then all that money that you freed up from selling Bitcoin to drive it into your longs on futures with a totally different market, you freed up that money, then you hit market buy all at once, and then your longs fly. If you're not that person, and if you don't see continuation off of the trend as opposed to a trend reversal, then it's not time to trade. And you won't be able to see that unless you're on a low chart like the 5 minute, 1 minute. But if you don't like those time frames to trade, then you still might want to look at those, because guess what's happened on the economic event calendar? So this is the last piece to the puzzle. And here's why it's happening. It happens almost every time, but it's usually not this trashy. It's usually not this trashy. But here's why it's trashy. Ready? What do you see? Look at the yellow arrows that kind of pinch at the bottom. FOMC, 2 p.m. So what do we know about FOMC? That's not for people to trade. And CPI. CPI is pretty tough to trade too. And that happens. Isn't that the same thing? It's this week too. Jolts, ADP, and FOMC on that same day. Earnings, Star Wars Day. Maybe no CPI. Nope, there's unemployment FOMC. But anyway, what do we know about all FOMCs? On this channel, what we've gone over every time to try to get people to not get screwed. Like, I've tried to trade FOMC 6 times. I've only been successful, wildly successful once, break even once, and then ouch on 4 of them. It's not worth it. Anybody who's been doing this a while, unless you know people on the floor, I mean, you probably don't want to try to trade that exact moment at 145 to 250. You need to wait for it to cool down, form a trend to get continuation. You don't guess. You'll get stopped out, and then it'll go your way. It's the lightsaber candles. It goes both ways to get everybody out, and then it goes every time. But at least wait 1 minute. 201. Bare minimum. What happens during FOMC? The 2 days prior, 2 business days prior. It's not always on Wednesday. It's been on Wednesday a lot. I think a couple have been on Thursday. But what happens? Traditional finance takes crypto and major stocks. So right now, the stock leading pretty much all stock market there are 2 of them, Apple and Microsoft. So if you want to know the general attitude of the entire stock market, Apple and Microsoft right now are the 2. Okay, we could look at those if you want, but whatever. Not gonna go. And so, during FOMC, including those big stocks, whatever's leading at that time, so like a couple times it's been Amazon that was leading, the algos will specifically plan for the playground theory of everybody getting off the bus at the same time to go play at the same biggest, baddest thing at the playground. It's volume, all at the same time, which is FOMC. That's why it's such high volume, and price on average on Bitcoin in that day is from a middle point. It's 5% up and 5% down for a 10% range. CPI, it's 4.5 and 4.5 for 9, or it's sometimes 4, but it often creates a 4% range on each side, which is 8 on CPI, and on FOMC, it's often 10. So before all of that happens, it's bi-directional, and it almost always creates. It's actually every time since I've been doing this. It's for about 18 months I've been following FOMC. It makes the same pattern. You find a base, and I've called the base 4 or 5 times in a row. I don't want to call it this time because I don't want to try to guess where the base is because it's dog food. I don't want to ruin my track. But the last 4 FOMCs, 2 and 3 days before, I said I think whales will bring price between here and here within a very small range, and exactly at 2 p.m. that's where price will be on Wednesday. So they will massage price and do anything they want without being tradable for the 2 days prior to FOMC, and it happens every time, but it's usually not this trashy, because they are simply trying to wash out some of the order book so that they can have a nice launch pad, not like Elon Musk launch pad, like rockets to the Mars or whatever, but it's a launch pad of sorts, but it's a bi-directional launch pad. And the 2 days prior, it's a massage to like do this kind of stuff so you get there at the right time. And so right now, it's the market trying to figure out all the arm wrestling going on between the big algos and the big money, the big trading desks. They're battling out, where is this launch pad going to be? We want it down here. This would actually be an appropriate one. The bottom of this 6-month point of control. Remember when I zoomed out, it said November over there, right? This would be an okay launch pad. I don't know if that's my guess, because I guessed 5 in a row, right? Within less than 1% 2 days prior, but this is too trashy. This would be an okay one. So price might literally just go boom, boom, do, and just come down here. But it actually have to happen kind of fast. That's Wednesday. So in mostly downside direction. And then if that's the launch pad, remember the 5% rule, both directions. Huh, 5% from bottom to top. And so if that's the launch pad at exactly 2 p.m. New York on Wednesday, May 3rd, right? Yes, Wednesday, May 3rd. Wherever the launch pad is, let's say it's there. This is what you're working with on Wednesday. If 27.2, 27.3 is the launch pad, which makes perfect sense, you're dealing with this and probably a wick down to there because this is a 6-month proven tried and true. It's the quarter line of a macro channel. So mine actually dip a little lower because why? Like, if it's got to go more one way than the other, why would it make more sense to go down more besides obviously this line that price will be attracted to at some point in the future? Might be months in the future after Bitcoin hits 40K or something, but it will touch this line. It is a question of when, not if. It will be hit. Even if it's 6 months in the future, way up at, like 30K. It doesn't matter. It will be hit no matter what. Just like the stochastics of the hour, no matter what, it'll always go back to the top and always go back to the bottom. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Even though in a bull market, it could stay up for like 2 months without hitting the bottom. It just keeps dancing. Dang, I got some type of hair on my face. It's going to be a great video, everybody. So this would be one guess, but because of the telescoping of the sexiest, ugliest chart on earth, this one, because it's all red, I think it's going to be 6% down and 4% up. So you could have exactly this play. Maybe this is the launch pad, and then it starts the day with the lightsaber, 1% down, 1% up, back in the middle at 201, and then boom, 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 and then bam, and then back to the middle right here. Because it always makes that Z shape. But it can be inverse too. Sometimes it hits the launch pad and goes boom, boom, back to the middle, which is inverse of that. So soft drop, big blast, back to the middle, or soft rise, big drop, back to the middle. It's the same every time on Wednesday. That's why instead of playing the very beginning of FOMC, since it makes the same shape every time, and we know if this is the launch pad exactly where they have permission to take Bitcoin, wait till it goes the first direction first, and you know the target, and then it's gonna likely bounce up. I wouldn't blindly trade, and trust me, don't trust me, use your own analysis, but this is the general idea. This is not financial advice, these are my ideas. What you do with my ideas is up to you. I'm not hitting buy and sell for you. And so it would be wiser if you're somebody who wants to get rich playing in the volatility of FOMC. I mean, it's not a good idea. I would wait till the first move because it's usually the less aggressive one first and then the more aggressive one second. The only time that gets tricky is if the launch pad is actually about 5 hours before. Sometimes they hit the launch pad at 9 a.m. and then it floats up until 2 p.m. and right when he talks, then it goes down. For example, so sometimes the launch pad is positioned over farther in time. The launch pad is not always at 2 p.m., but usually it is. All right, but it always makes the same shape. So this week until Wednesday, roughly, actually just end of day, end of Bitcoin day, the Wednesday candle at 8 p.m. New York, it might be wise just to sit back and watch this dog food trash. See you later.